How strong will China be in 2026? The world is concerned about this issue as more and more facts come to light. People also suddenly discovered the rise of China. It is an irreversible trend of the times. Looking back over the past 10 years, global perception of China's power experienced tremendous changes in 2015. The world generally positions China's strength third in the world. The disparity with the United States and Russia. After 2022, the West began to recognize China is truly the second largest country in the world. Military power. And into 2024, a series of blockbuster achievements have been achieved one after another. Let the world usher in a collapsing cognitive reshaping. China's true power has long exceeded the imagination of the outside world. June 2nd, 2024. Chang'e 6 lands at the South Pole on the far side of the moon. Akin Basin. The U.S. has made an urgent public appeal. Ask China not to erase the United States. The traces left by the moon landing in July. Line 055 destroyer. Go on a cruise in the waters near Alaska, USA. At the same time, the Chinese Immigration Administration announced that at 37 ports across the country, under 44 hours for foreign nationals to enter the country. Visa-free policy in August. China 3A game masterpiece Black Myth. Wukong was born. Breaking multiple world gaming industry records. End of September, China's Dongfeng series of missiles accurately hit the Pacific Ocean. Scheduled career goals. Global public opinion fell silent in an instant. The US side also made a public statement later. Call this test a good thing in October. China has officially launched its extraterrestrial life exploration program. Zhuhai Air Show in November. More than 10 kinds of high-tech equipment were unveiled in a concentrated manner. Unmanned intelligent technology completely revolutionized the global battle against the modern battlefield. China's two sixth-generation aircraft made their public debut. This news? Let the USV corner hold an emergency meeting directly. Negotiate targeted responses. These blockbuster results that have landed one after another. Let the world fully see the true power of China. Solid thickness. It has also fundamentally changed the world pattern. Now, the United States is the former world hegemon. The main fighter technology has fallen behind China by an entire area. Main destroyer field. The Type 055 destroyer ranks first in the world. The strategic strike strength of the Chinese rocket force. It is also superior to the relevant combat forces of the U.S. Army. America's global hegemony is already in jeopardy. However, even with China's hard equipment capabilities, a leap forward has been achieved. There are still skeptical voices from the outside world. Some people call the People's Liberation Army decades of no actual combat experience. The power of questioning is difficult to truly exert. This view is not unreasonable. After all, actual combat is the core standard for testing combat power. The U.S. military has been involved in overseas wars for many years. In an emergency, perhaps have practical experience that China has not yet experienced. Accumulate, just as the outside world was arguing about this issue. January 7, 2025, a sudden natural disaster. It just happened to be a test of the emergency mobilization of China and the United States. The best test time for actual combat support capabilities. January 7, 2025, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Tingri County, Xizang. Global media has focused on this. Keep an eye on China's emergency response capabilities. Under the gaze of the world, China has proven its strength with effective actions. 10 minutes after the earthquake, the drone took the lead in flying over the earthquake area to conduct surveys. 15-minute military and police rescue forces arrive in the disaster area. Carry out mass transfer rescue. 30 minutes. Tingri County organized professional demolition. Rescue operation. 5 hours shipping. 20 large transport aircraft carrying relief supplies and officers and soldiers rushed to the front. 6 hours for the township to fully restore power for 10 hours. Township communication network all restarted and restored. That night, the victims were served a hot meal of 4 dishes and 1 soup. Township students can also complete their homework normally. The next morning, all damaged roads in the disaster area are cleared. All kinds of rescue resources across the country. The source keeps pouring in. China's earthquake relief operations quickly achieve phased results. Also, January 7, 2025, Los Angeles, the second largest city in the United States. Massive fire eruption. A large number of houses were destroyed by the fire. Hundreds of thousands of people were forced to flee in a hurry. At a critical moment of life and death, America's emergency performance is about to be reborn. California governor publicly complains about missing U.S. president, unable to communicate and coordinate rescue resources. Local firefighters are facing a shortage of firefighting water, unable to effectively extinguish fire. Only use traffic cones, handbags, and other simple tools to extract water from the ground. Eventually, the fire spreads out of control. After the fact, there are international media dedicated evaluating the disaster relief performance of China and the United States. China is in a remote area of the plateau at an altitude of 4,300 meters. Successfully secured the disaster area. 60,000 the basic survival needs of the masses, and the United States is in the core of its own cities. However, due to the lack of a basic security system, no effective national emergency response capabilities were seen throughout the process. Mobilization and comprehensive support capabilities of the two countries. The disparity is clear at a glance. It also made the outside world recognize again core criteria for judging national strength. Judging national strength. You must not just look at the superficial GDP data, industrial capacity, material distribution capacity, power generation, steel production, these hard indicators. It is the core confidence of the country to cope with various challenges. And China has long taken the lead in these fields. The US data shows that 2024, China's industrial capacity has reached 35% of the world's total, and the growth rate continues to climb. This proportion is expected to rise to 45% in 2035. The combined industrial capacity of the United States and Europe by then, it is also difficult to compete with China. China also has significant advantages in power generation. With the deepening of the new energy revolution, implementation of preliminary planning of Maydog hydropower station, this advantage will be further expanded in the future. Steel production capacity is needless to say. Steel production capacity in a province in Hebei, at the forefront of the world. Steel production in Tangshan Yicheng, enough to rival some world powers. This is real hard power. It is China's greatest strength to face any challenge. Look at the United States. The seemingly inflated GDP data in real emergency and actual combat scenarios. But it seems flashy. Wall Street's financial capital, tens of trillions of dollars in stock market capitalization. There is no way to be a state for conflict. Practical support for disaster management. Even senior U.S. officials have long recognized this reality. The relevant person in charge of the U.S. side publicly stated, the United States can no longer handle China's development alone. China's comprehensive strength, unprecedented on a global scale. There are still some people in the country sticking to old perceptions from more than a decade ago. Blind belief that America is invincible, unwilling to face up to the rise and strength of the motherland. But the tide of the times is unstoppable. The pace of China's rise. Never stop with any doubts.